Are you ready to learn the top 5 tasks and skills that you need to master as a project management virtual assistant? In this video, I'm going to walk you through what are the things that clients mostly expect if you are trying to apply as a project management VA. If you're someone right now who is thinking of like, hey, I have some project management skills, or you've been a project manager VA before, I want to walk you through what those top 5 skills are and tasks that you need to master, and what they actually look like from beginner, intermediate, and in the mastery level. The first one that you do need to master are project management tools. So different clients that you'll work with will have different preferences. They might have they might be using Asana, Notion, Trello, whatever it looks like. They might even have a custom project management tool, but the purpose of learning this is essentially just getting familiar with what they look like. The beginner level of this, of course, is you understand the functionalities of different types of project management tools, and that you can slowly manage the tasks and deadlines on it. The intermediate of this is you can actually now go ahead and start creating projects, managing them, creating more complex things like dependencies, one task needs to be done before the next task, and of course collaborating with different members on the team with the platform. Now what the mastery of this looks like is you've now learned how to do automations. So you're utilizing other tools to bring them in, you put it in all in one space, and you're even able to generate really good reports to anyone who's concerned, like your manager or your boss, on how the project is doing, like how many tasks are done, how many are still pending, what's stuck basically. So you're now actually able to master the tool itself, that you're actually able to get reports based on what was actually done. Next is task management and delegation. So when you're a project manager, you're essentially working with different people to get a project done. So mastering how to be able to effectively delegate to the right people and to manage a little bit of their own tasks as well is going to be key. Beginner level of this is you can break down bigger tasks into smaller ones, assigning them to team members and tracking basic progress. What the intermediate of this looks like is a little bit more adding the complexity, where you're able to manage the complexities of like, oh, this person has to finish this job before this job can get started for this person, and managing the communications of the team, making sure everyone's in line, making sure everything is aligned to the goal, and of course utilizing the communication tools. Now the mastery of this is then you're able to actually predict if things can go wrong and actually start seeing what would be possible roadblocks for these people. You're able to know which person can be depended on basically on different skills and different tasks that need to get done, and then you're able to actually work through with them and manage them through, not just teach them, but manage them through any obstacles and roadblocks that they may find throughout the way. So it's not just again telling them what to do, you're also giving them the space to figure things out for themselves, so then they have that capability to work through a problem that may go through, a roadblock that they may go through throughout the project. Next is communication and collaboration. Basically, this is making sure that everyone who needs to be informed is stayed informed. So the beginner of this is essentially just the basics of keeping people up to date and giving them clear reports as needed. The intermediate of this is that you're able to easily hop on calls with people, communicate with them back and forth, facilitate more productive meetings, and also be kind of an in-between when issues come up. The mastery of this is you've actually developed a good communication system between different people, because different people communicate different ways. You are able to proactively create ways of, let's say your boss prefers email, they don't look at Slack, they don't take phone calls, and the rest of the team do. They're on Slack, they're on phone calls. So you're a little bit of that in between of making sure that everyone who is supposed to be up to date is up to date, and you've created systems so that things can still work. Such as, for example, let's say your whole team was on a Zoom call. Again, your client hates hopping on Zoom calls, so for you, you are creating essentially a summary to be emailed to that boss or your client. So whatever that looks like, you are kind of that in-between communicator to make sure that everyone is in the loop. Next is time management and scheduling, and this is a key skill for a project manager VA. Is a lot of time it's making sure things flow when they're supposed to flow, and if there are delays, you're able to actually move things around, so either we still hit the date or we miss it, but just maybe a day or two. Beginner of this is, of course, you can create a project with basic timeline. Intermediate of this is you're a little bit more proactive and tracking really the progress of each task of each member, so then you are able to adjust things as needed and being able to identify and basically problem solve through anything that could stop or hinder the project. Now, the mastery of this is that you are able to create more realistic deadlines, and you're able to add that buffer time. You've been able to see already or foresee ahead that this needs buffer time. They say that it takes 2 weeks. It actually will take 3 weeks or even a month. So it's now being able to have seen enough of the project or projects like these before that you actually know what is realistic and what will happen. And you're also finding the ways you can save time through either tools or automations that you guys can use, so then things can still stick to the deadline. And of course, one of the bigger ones is research and resource management. So when you're managing projects, you are making sure that you have the right resources in place and researching for what is needed for this project. The beginner level of this, of course, is you can conduct basic research for the project itself. The intermediate of this is that you've been able to identify the resources needed for this project, like your materials, your tools, maybe even your people, based on what the project actually needs. And of course, the mastery of this is that you're able to look at industry trends. You're able to look at the history, basically, of what has been done before. You're able to manage the project budget at this point. You know what the budget is, you're working with it, with the people that you work with, the resources that you have, and even negotiating with vendors to kind of have everything fit within your resources. Now, being a project management virtual assistant is essentially making sure that things are running. You're kind of a little bit of the conductor to make sure all the steams are running, all engines go, basically, in making sure that things are going in your business. Whether you're managing projects as a client comes in, for example, that's a project for you, is that you're managing from onboarding all the way to delivery to offboarding, or you're managing a whole internal project where the client wants to have XYZ kind of database. Then it can be small things, it could be the big things, but the purpose of this video is I want to give you guys the snapshot of what the day-to-day for this would look like and what would be the main skills that you can master. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what kind of project management VA are you. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!